Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Peet. Chat's going to do something.
Chat Cuvo. Come on, that was impressive. I almost hurt myself again.
You could have jumped out of a.
That was going to be entirely.
I got something new.
Out of the UPSCO logo. Negative.
I was trying to be the UPSCO, like the Hawaiian Punch guy, like last week, except through the UPSCO logo.
Yeah. So what's up, Ted? How was the weekend? Let's go around the horn. What'd you guys do?
Ted.
I got sunburnt. I fell asleep in the sun on the deck at the lake. My leg looks like a gallon of neoprene ice cream.
You did show it to me. It's really tan on the bottom, and then you got a little strawberry in the middle of vanilla.
Wait a minute. Did you just say neoprene ice cream?
Neapolitan. Didn't I say Neapolitan?
Yes, you did. No, you didn't. And that's scary. You did. You said neoprene ice cream. It's delicious, okay. I heard. Wow. Well, I know what Ted did. Chado, anything interesting?
Oh, nothing exciting for me, I don't think. Something I'm sure for hockey with Logan, but I don't think anything really exciting, no.
I'm glad you prepared. Okay, yeah, well, moving on. Ted,
enough of this guy.
What did you do, Joe? You didn't tell us what you did.
Oh,
you actually haven't even introduced yourself. How do these people know who you are?
Oh, I introduced myself as severely disappointed in chat, if you're paying attention. Joe Surratt for first-time viewers. Yeah, so nothing. I didn't do much, guys. I hung around with the kids a little bit and just kind of worked around the house. That's it. That's my go-to move.
I joked about it, but in all sincerity, it was a really great weekend. Honestly, myself and two of my Marine Corps buddies and our wives we got a lake house. One of them has a lake house. We went to the lake house together, and it was a really, really good time to see these guys.
And you guys invented a new ice cream while you were there too, so that's
neoprene ice cream. It's going to be amazing. We're cornering the market on it. Yeah. So how about a little UPSCO update, Joe? Anything useful to produce?
No, thanks, Ted. No. No, we're good. UPSCO's still just moving along. We've picked up some new stuff recently, some new opportunities, and we're just I think things are kind of trending in the right direction, hopefully. So
still looking out. We're still chasing orders though, just because we're still super concerned going through all this stuff. That when these main when they get away from this main work, it's going to start going to services, and then we're just going to get hit.
I'll tell you what, our welding orders, you better get them in now if you want them anytime soon.
Yeah, it's getting tighter.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is hopefully a sign of good things. But moving on, we got a pretty cool guest this week.
We do have a really cool guest. It is Donna Stoughton. She is the VP of Sales and Marketing. I always do that when I say somebody's name. VP. Next stretch. I don't know. It's weird.
It's probably the neoprene ice cream.
The neoprene ice cream, yeah, has a side effect of causing a twitch. So Donna's the VP of Sales and Marketing for Charter Inc. Okay, Charter Plastics Inc. She is they are a manufacturer of HDPE pipe used in the natural gas and gas gathering industry. She's been in the industry since 1982, but she's worked at Charter since '94. She is awesome to hang out with. Super knowledgeable, super fun. She actually put me on to one of my favorite bottles of wine ever at a dinner one night. She recommended it, and I'm a huge fan of it now. So without further ado,
wine? Let's give it a shameless plug.
Give us the shameless plug on the wine.
Cake Bread Cellars Cabernet Sauvignon 2016. Unbelievable.
Great. Go.
Maybe we'll put that in the notes underneath.
Yeah.
And we'll tag
and what was the kind of wine?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
No, the manufacturer.
Cake Bread Cellars. They're out of Napa Valley out in California.
If you're listening, shameless plug. There you go. So
love it.
Moving on. Tedio?
Say it, Joe. Say it.
Without further ado, let's
Donna Stoughton.
Donna Stoughton.
I love it.
Hello and welcome to Connections for Life, Donna. It is a pleasure to see you again, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be on your show. I've enjoyed watching it, so I'm super excited.
That's one person, so that's good. We're in the right direction.
Two. I was the other one.
Okay.
Oh man, it's great to see you, Donna. We've known you. We've had a relationship between UPSCO and Charter for many years now, and you're always one of the best people to talk to in the industry, and especially in the plastic pipe world. So you can just start off and tell us a little bit about Charter and yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. Well, gosh, I don't know where to start. I guess as for me, I started back in 1984 working for a polyethylene resin company. And so I was in accounting, customer service, and then went to outside sales and got transferred to the Northeast. And Charter was one of my customers that bought resin from me. And I ended up going to work for Charter, and that was in 1994, which is like, seems like yesterday. It's a blur, but it's been great. But as for Charter, Charter's been around since 1987. It's a privately held company. It was started by Charlene and Terry Rio, and you know, there's a long history of actually in Titusville of making polyethylene pipe. So if you're ever on Jeopardy, right, in the category it's Titusville, here's some history for you.
Okay.
We were literally just talking about creating
Yeah, we
a
were
game
talking
night
about
of gas Jeopardy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So like, you know, like polyethylene's been around since the 1950s, and they've actually been making polyethylene pipe in Titusville since the 1950s. Actually,
Wow.
Char's uncle had a company here called Skyline that made polyethylene pipe, and they made it for the mines. And in the early 60s, Phillips Petroleum came in, bought that plant, and started making water
Wow.
pipe here out of polyethylene pipe. Char worked there, her dad worked there, and at some point, Phillips decided to close this plant. And so they moved everybody to Kentucky. Char's dad decided that he wanted to, you know, keep working. So he got
wasn't
some
leaving.
investors, and they opened a product called Oil Creek.
Oil Creek.
A business called Oil Creek. And they made polyethylene pipe. Char worked there. Terry worked there. Terry ran the plant. Char worked in the office. And then after a point, in I think about 86, Oil Creek was being sold. And at that point, it really wasn't a family business anymore. And that really gave Char and Terry the green light to go out and do something on their own. So, you know, they kind of mortgaged
Why not
the
start
farm.
another pipe business?
Yeah, exactly. Went out, bought a couple of extruders, and that's where Charter started. And Charter comes from their name. Charter is from Char Charter. That's where it came from.
I never knew that.
I know. Exactly.
I did.
that's
Never-
I learned it during the
I
tour.
did not know that
down-
either.
I learned it at my tour.
I know,
Wow.
Chad, you have a question,
Okay.
but I just
I
want
just
to
have
ask,
a quick one too. Yeah, it's like
why is Titusville, Pennsylvania, the hotbed for polyethylene pipe? Is it? I mean, is there an environmental reason? Is it
An
along a
amazing
rail
rail siding?
yard? Is it? I mean, because I've been to Titusville, and I know
Right.
that it's a very odd location to put in a very large manufacturing facility, and not one, not two, but three. Seems like there has to be
So,
some reason for it. Is
Yeah.
there, or is it just coincidental?
I think it's the people. I think it was just the history of people that came through here recognizing that polyethylene is such a great product and the potential of it. And even just when it first got started, when polyethylene was first coming out and Phillips was trying to sell Marlex resin out there, not a lot of people were jumping on that bandwagon, but
Right.
they saw the potential here in Titusville, and it's been going on ever since.
That's awesome. I just, Donna, I know you hit on the history, but one of the things I think that interested me the most, other than the wonderful plastic pipe, was the building you guys are in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your building, could you just tell it, just the 10-cent tour on the building, because it's awesome.
Sure. Yeah. Our building, it's probably about 120 something years old now. But it used to be an old foundry. It was called Struthers Wells back in the day. And they used to build gun barrels for the battleships during the World Wars here, because this was one of the few places in the country that they could do vertical annealing. And so they did also the big shell casings for those big guns. They were made here too. So you know,
cool.
back during the war, Titusville was on the hit list of places
That's awesome.
to come after.
That's
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah.
My
There's
hometown
also
shares that
buildings.
same, I guess, title or whatever. We were on Hitler's hit list as well from
Yeah.
World War II, because we manufactured weapons and everything here in Elmira, New York.
Isn't
There
that
was
amazing? You know,
there was a
these
place
little
like
towns,
that.
who would have ever thought?
There's a
Yeah.
place like that in upstate New York too. I think it's interesting. There is an interesting thing, and I know we're kind of getting a little off script here,
That's
but you
okay.
kind of brought me to my next point, or to a point. There's a uniqueness to Charter in that building, and there's something that you guys do differently there because of where the building is located. as far as like cooling pipe and things of that nature. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you guys are different from some other people that way?
Sure. Yeah, a couple of things different just because of these buildings. You know, we've got two old buildings that we've turned into pipe plants. So one's our small diameter building. That's where our offices are based. Typically we make 1/2 through 2 inch here, a little bit of 3 and 4 inch, but then across the street where we make through 24 inch. But with these buildings, you know, they because they used to be foundries, you could actually bring rail cars into the buildings. And so in addition to, you know, the massive amounts of silos that we have, we can also pull rail cars right in here.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
So that's really a nice thing about Charter that we have. And it's pretty unique. You don't see that every place you go.
Thank you.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
really
during
cool.
the tour and as I'm you know, still new, I'm learning some of this stuff here, but I'd love to hear your perspective on it. With the pipe that you guys make, why is HDP so important to the natural gas industry specifically?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's really critical for natural gas industry because you think about natural gas. What's the one thing you want from a pipe? You want it to be safe and you want it to be leak free. And that is exactly what HDPE is. You know, with HDPE, you don't have any sort of rust or corrosion that can occur like you do with metal pipes. None of that happens. So it doesn't need any exterior coating. And when you look at steel pipes, what do they coat it with? Polyethylene. You know, so why not just use a pipe made from polyethylene? You know, the other thing is the pipe is joined with heat fusion. And heat fusion is a process that generates a leak-free joint. And you certainly don't want any leaks in your connections when you're transmitting natural gas through there. You know, and just the general properties of polyethylene, the fact that it's ductile. So if it's overpressurized, that pipe just doesn't split. That pipe tends to expand and balloon out before it would ever rupture. It's very rugged and durable. It can be installed a lot of different ways. So you can do the traditional open cut, you know, like they have to do for steel pipes. But the great thing about it is you can install it via directional drilling. You know, like you see where they're drilling under the roads and under the rivers. You can install the pipe that way. It's super cost effective and it's less impact on the earth and less impact on the people in the area. They're not being affected because the roads aren't being torn up.
Less disruption.
Exactly. And that's huge. And then too, you know, especially with gas companies, they're doing a lot of relining right now. You know, so they're taking the old steel lines that are, you know, that are rusting out and they're relining them with polyethylene pipe. So its pipe is being fused and pushed through or pulled through depending on the installation. And then the other thing that you can do is you can do pipe bursting. So you've got it like an old existing pipe in the ground. They can pull through a bursting head. They can burst that steel pipe. They pull an expander through there, which pushes the pipe out of the way, and then pull through new polyethylene. So they're
all in one shot.
Yeah, and they're making use of that existing hole in the ground. So I mean, it's so flexible, it's durable, it's safe and leak-free. It is the right pipe for gas distribution.
Wow.
Yeah.
We believe that too.
It's
awesome.
cool product.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That was really good. You know, you guys are one of what we call the premier manufacturer, really, in the industry of.
Thank you.
I guess one of the things that always puzzled me, and I always wanted to ask the question, as far as being a manufacturer of HDPE pipe and medium density, what's probably the biggest challenge you guys face? Is it getting resins? You know, we hear a lot of times out on the road or out in the street, we hear a lot of things that go, oh, we can't get resin from Houston because of something. So what are those challenges, I guess? It's got to be tough sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into making good polyethylene pipe, you know, so it's the people, it's the resin, it's the equipment, you know, and then it's just the processes and adherence to the processes. But yeah, I mean, you definitely touched on a subject when you talk about resin, because right now all of the resin is produced on the Gulf Coast. So you know what happens when it becomes hurricane season. Everybody gets a little nervous because, you know, you're looking at, my gosh, if a hurricane hits the Gulf Coast, they're going to shut down, you know, the resin production. And I mean, it's happened a couple of different times. And, you know, going back to like 2017, I think, the last time that it happened.
Donna,
And,
I have a
yeah.
stupid question that goes along with it. I don't mean to cut you off, but why are they all there? I mean, I know there's refineries and I know that, but why all in one place? Kind of like the pipe in Titusville thing, I guess.
Yeah. It's, well, really, because, you know, the Gulf
Where the oil is.
Yeah,
I know, but
the oil and the gas is there, and you know, it's easy access for raw materials, and it's really the mecca for polyolefin manufacturing. But there is another manufacturer that is opening up resin production about an hour and a half from Charter here in Pennsylvania. So that's going to provide a different option. Yeah. Shell is building a cracker and ethylene facility about an hour and a half.
Where's that? Whereabouts?
It's in Monaca, so just outside of the Pittsburgh airport.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
When we go to Columbia Gas, when we go to their training facility, if you walk out and look to the left now, you can see huge things. You couldn't see it before, but now they're gigantic. It's insane.
Cool.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's really neat.
Yeah,
really neat.
It's coming right along. So, you know, probably in a couple of more years, that will be an option. So that'll take a little pressure off when it's hurricane season.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Well, speaking of new and exciting, is there anything new and exciting over at Charter that's going on?
My God, yes.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you had it.
Here, I opened the door.
So much. Good question. Yeah, tons of stuff. So, I mean, it's been a couple of years since some of you have been here, but a lot's gone on. So we've been working really over the last 2 years to really expand our production capability. So one of the things that we've done is we built a fabrication shop. And in that fabrication shop, we can take HDPE pipe and turn it into T's, Y's, L's, and crosses.
That's a big challenge. That's
yeah.
A big challenge
So that's great. IPS, dips, and also metric sizes. We can also do it for PPRCT pipe, which is also a fusible pipe that's often used inside of buildings.
For water, right? For water.
Yeah, for water and chillers and things like that, right. And then at Charter South, our small diameter plant, we have just recently installed another small diameter extruder for medium density gas. So we've expanded our capacity for that. Then on our large diameter plant, we've gone through a big expansion there. We've expanded our production and blending facilities over there. We're in the process of installing a brand new large diameter extruder that will make 8 through 24 inch pipe, and we're getting ready to order 3 more extruders for across the street. So
and for people that don't know, extruders are not like cheap. Like it's not like you get like you buy one and it's like like it's like buying a refrigerator. Like it's a big expense. Like that's that's a crazy expansion. I mean,
it's crazy. And we've also expanded our pipe yard, so you know, and building inventory right now. And then we've got new gas brochures too that are coming out in July. So we got a lot going on.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's really fun. We're never bored, I'll tell you that.
Never move. Stay in the same place.
We try to keep these as brief as possible, Donna, because we don't know how long people actually will tune in. So we've kind of condensed our shows. So we just obviously thank you guys for all that you do for us. I mean, I know that for most of the people watching this may not understand the relationship that UPSCO and Charter possess, and it's a very, very strong relationship and very a lot of close relationships and connections. Thank you. For those of you that have never been to Charter, I suggest you take a visit. It's a unique place. Awesome. It's a really cool building, and it's always a very warm, welcome place. And I think part of that is, we didn't really touch on this, but you kind of did in the beginning, but just, you know, Shar and Terry in the plant and when they started it is great, but there's so many original employees. Like it's not like Charter had the guys that work on the floor have been there for 20 years. I mean, you guys are truly a family, and it's
you reference the people.
It's a feeling that you get when you're there, and you know that, and you can feel the tightness amongst the group, and that's just one more thing that makes you guys awesome. So again, thank you so much for coming on our show. We look forward to getting back out on the road with you guys, and you know, as soon as we can, and maybe we'll sell some more pipe, right?
Absolutely. Right. Thank you guys. We love working with you guys and everyone at UPSCO. You're a great group, and we're really proud to work with you.
Don't tell anybody.
We bribed her before the show to make sure she closed with that. Folks, I just want to make that aware.
We'll Venmo you.
Yeah. Hey, Donna, thank you. It's great as always.
Guys.
Donna, thank you so much for joining us on the show. What a great interview. it's always a pleasure to talk and joke around with you. Plus, get some stuff out there for charter is always great news. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Donna's always, she was really good. I mean, just the fact of, I love to hear the history of the building, the history of Charter, the history of the family that owns it. I mean, it's just
the town.
If you the town, if you've ever been there, it's just a place it's just a small little town that makes plastic pipe. It's kind of weird, but it's really a neat place. It's what it's known for, oddly enough, like we talked about. But it was really good having her on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say that too. I've known Donna pretty much for the entire time I've been here. She's one of the very first people I ever met, and always kind, gracious, always very professional, and just a joy and a great person to work with. Always has been, and that falls down from their entire organization, from Terry down to the guys on the floor. It's just a really unique place and a really good bunch of people. So again, Donna, thank you for blessing us with your presence. We really do appreciate it. 100%.
So without further ado, why don't you kick off the industry update, Joe?
Further ado.
I say it just to spite him now.
I know you do. Yeah, I don't know. There's, we're kind of just still doing the same thing. We're doing a lot of virtual things as far as the associations go. I know a bunch of them have a lot out. SGA is kind of going through their natural gas champions month this month, and there's a lot of good content on there if you guys haven't been on. Also, at the end of the month, on August 5th, we're going to be doing a little bit of
the beginning of the month.
Sorry, the end of the show, I meant. The beginning of the month. You're right, the end of the show. Sorry. It all kind of blends together now, doesn't it? So we're going to be, Connections for Life is going to be doing a little tandem thing with the boys over at EWN, and then Jim Shower and James Cross, and Coffee with Jim and James, and we're going to put together a little bit of a show here. So stay tuned. There'll be some more details on that. We're ironing out the details and the kinks. We should have some more info, I would assume, next week. But
should be awesome.
I would just say, if you haven't had a chance to get onto the industry websites, and this goes for all of them, there's a lot of good content, a lot of good stuff that people are recording and saving, and things that you can go back and watch. And even though we're in unique times, I think it's incredible the amount of information and content people have been able to put together, and there's a lot of value in it. So if you haven't taken advantage of it, I suggest that you do. It's very, very.
And most of them, Joe, to correct me if I'm wrong, but most of them are recorded too, so that you didn't have to be there for the actual live, the presentation. You can actually watch it afterwards, which is even cooler.
Yeah, you can go on there, and I think there's a link to like YouTube, and I think all of them are being posted on YouTube. So if you aren't able to make them, you can catch them at another time. And I think that's persistent for, I don't know how long it goes, but I know at least this month.
So like, that's such a cool thing to like, that is actually like, oftentimes people focus on the, like all the negatives that have come along with the way the world has changed due to COVID and this kind of stuff. But like, if you think about like the encyclopedias of information and access to the stuff that has been created, the data, the virtual data libraries and everything. I mean, we're working on stuff at UPSCO like that, but I mean, so many different places are doing that, and that's so cool for our industry, because you can catch up on all of those.
I don't think that was something prevalent. It wasn't prevalent before either. No. I mean, that wasn't something that most people did, Joe, right? I mean, a little.
I mean, maybe. I think it was more like looked at as training, right?
Yes,
right. Training. This is just more information sharing, and the concepts and the things that are out there that maybe weren't even concepts or things that you thought about before, that now we're talking about because of where we are and what we've dealt with, are unique. And I think people have had more time, because specifically like us, we're not out traveling about. We have a lot more time to sit down and do some initiatives, and I think that's persistent across for a lot of people. Maybe not Ted, because
maybe not you, Ted. It's okay.
Maybe
if you turned her hat around forward, it'd be better. It'd be better for if your hat was forward. I don't know.
I feel like I'm in a 1990s high school where the principal's like, "Hey, turn your hat around, you hooligan."
They've been fighting about this for like 3 episodes, so stay tuned. This is probably not going to go away, but I think that's it. I think that's all we have. We'll post some more stuff next week regarding what the show looks like and the things that we're going to do, more information, where you can go, and if you want to log on, you want to be part of it, we'd love to have that. Again, more of that information be coming along. So
awesome.
That being said,
another shameless plug: watch the movie The Outpost if you're looking for something to do, folks. Before we get out of here, I want to recommend
I like
a
that.
really good
Netflix,
movie.
is that Netflix?
No, it's not Netflix yet. It's like you know, direct TV streaming or whatever. You know,
I'll check it out.
but it's a
The
really like
Outpost.
so it talks about so I was in Afghanistan in
Doesn't matter.
02
Doesn't
and-
matter. Doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
watch it. I'm
All
gonna
right,
watch it.
you're in. I
Don't
like
tell
it.
me.
I
You're
don't
just
need
telling me
any.
shut up now. I got it.
No, I don't need any context. I'm gonna get some neoprene ice cream and watch it this evening.
That's
Love you guys.
all right. Love you guys. Bye, Chad.
See you, Jado.